Hey, Christina.
Good morning.
How are you?
Let me get on camera. Hi, Lonnie. Thank you for coming.
Hello. Good morning.
Oh, I know you're on mute. We'll do introductions once we get to the.
I need my coffee.
You and me both. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me get my.
I think I'm gonna start eating my yogurt since we're kind of just hanging out here.
By all means, yeah, I was gonna start snacking on my bar, but I'm like, I
Start
bet you
snacking. I got my
in my
cashews
mouth,
and my
let them say
yogurt.
something to me.
And that is what we're doing. Hi, Christina. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so just make sure I'm on. You know me. I'm on my.
Hold on. Before anybody says anything, reminder: we're streaming live on YouTube.
So that's okay. Is it just this one, or am I doing the finance one too? I just haven't looked at my account.
There's no funds attached, right? It's just
Well, there's funds that come to our program. Yeah.
But this is just for
Healthy food certification, but funds come because of that.
okay. So then yes.
Okay.
I'll say yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you. I don't know if I sent you that invite.
That's what I'm asking. Just checking for me, please, because we went back and forth so many times on this.
I know. And I think you're away.
Good morning, everyone.
Okay.
Morning,
Good
Miss
morning.
Lonnie.
Morning, Miss Michette.
I said, look at that, like 3
Good
times in like
morning.
a week. I'm like, woo.
I know.
Good morning. Hi, Yahaira, Alejandro, Viviana.
How are you?
Good.
Good morning.
Christina, did you see I was up late. I was working on state convention stuff, so I figured I might as well.
Let me. Yes.
Okay. Yahaira, are you going to the Democratic State Convention?
I was thinking about it, that they told me I should go, but I'm like, I'm so busy this month. I don't know.
No, listen.
Are you going? I heard it's fun to say the least. Well,
It's definitely involved and can definitely raise your levels. So yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
I may end up going. I haven't changed my mind yet. I haven't decided officially. Are you gonna go?
I'll be there tonight and half of the day tomorrow. My son has basketball for most
Oh,
of it.
nice.
So yeah. Yeah.
Christina, did you hear from any of the other board members whether or not
No.
they were gonna come?
Let me start texting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, there's AJ. AJ's here.
He was the first one I was gonna text to.
Yeah.
You're on. Okay.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy
Hey,
Friday.
happy Friday. I got my kids are home today, sick. Once one gets sick, all of them have to stay. So I'm on mute, but just know I'm fighting a good fight.
That's right. You're in good company. We get it, Pastor AJ. It happens.
Fighting a good fight.
Good morning, Cherise.
Good morning, Cherise.
Good morning, Miss Judith. Good morning, Tamara.
I'll be on camera in like 2 minutes. I apologize.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Good morning.
I'm gonna give it another minute.
I just sent the messages.
Great. Thank you, Christina,
you.
for that. Just want to be respectful for everyone's time, and it's Friday, and I know we all have work, so I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Give it one more minute. Just pulling up my agenda myself. All right, let's get started. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope everyone has had a decent week. It's been crazy on my end, but it's Friday. I'm alive. I'm grateful for that. So as other meetings, I want to get us started with one, just take a moment. It's Friday. We got through this week. Two, my question for you guys is, what are you going to do this weekend to take care of yourself, to take care of your mental health? Me, this weekend, it's going to sound just corny, but I'm hoping to just lay on the couch and watch the Crime Network show. And I know, I promise you I'm not a killer. I just enjoy seeing how dumb people are sometimes.
No, but now we know that you know how to do some things.
You know, I can neither confirm nor deny that. So what are you guys going to be doing this weekend to recharge and take care of yourself? Being selfish in a good way. I'm going to popcorn it. Let's popcorn this. I'm going to pass it off to Christina.
Well, I actually have sort of busy weekend because Jack and Jill tomorrow and then Mother's Day weekend, so we make sure we take them out and stuff. So I guess, showing love to the family is a way of self-care and spending time with them because, you never know. It's precious time.
It is precious.
Mm-hmm.
You want to popcorn it to someone, Christina?
Yes, I will pop it to Judith.
Yes, good morning. So this weekend, I'm going to be going to a Mother's Day tea. I'm taking my mom and my daughters, and that's my immediate plan. Hope I could be on the beach somewhere.
The beach sounds great. You want to hand it off to someone?
To Nashat.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Ms. Judith. So this weekend, what am I going to do for myself? I'm actually going to sleep in on Sunday. Usually on Sundays, I'm part of our worship team at our church, and it's Mother's Day, so we don't have to. The gentlemen are actually going to do all the singing. So I'm going to sleep in on Sunday and then get there right in time. So that's like my self-care, because I'm up by 5:30 on a Sunday, 7 a.m. to the church. So that's huge for me.
That's great.
And I will popcorn it to, Mr. Walker just joined, so I'm not sure if he has the prompt yet, but I'll popcorn it to Lonnie.
Hi, I'm Lonnie, so some of you might not know who I am. I am the food service director for the district, so that's who I am. And I'm going to do two things this weekend for me. I'm going to take a walk in the reservoir in West Hartford, which is one of my favorite places on earth. And I am in the process of finally, my house is finally getting finished. Painters are coming. My husband and I have been remodeling our house for 25 years. So it's like at the culmination of all this. You have no idea how exciting it is. And so I actually have some fabric samples to pick out for my couch. And so I'm going to pick out the fabric for my couch, which will bring me great joy because it's one step closer to having a completed house. So that's me. And I'm going to bounce this right on over to Tamara.
Good morning. So nothing exciting planned, just rest and cleaning. That'll be my self-care.
You want to popcorn?
Oh,
it?
yes.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Popcorn it to Alejandro.
Oh, we can't hear you, Alejandro.
Good morning, everyone. There will not be so much self-care at my house this weekend. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law is their wedding anniversary, so they just left this morning to the Bahamas, and my wife and I will have 4 additional children this afternoon in our home. I have twins that are 9 years old, and we have another set of twins that are 2, a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old. So that will be very exciting. So not much self-caring going on this weekend in my house.
I hope you
Okay.
survive this weekend.
Yes. You'll be tired on Monday. Oh my. Yes, Sharice.
And I'll hand it over to Michelle.
Hey everyone. I'm just about to come on camera. This weekend for self-care, I'm doing a couple of things. One, playing in the volleyball tournament that's like a fundraiser that the district is doing, which I'm really excited about. And finally on Sunday, unpacking like the last room to finally be done unpacking from my move, which will feel really good because I'm leaving to vacation in Puerto Rico next Monday night. So I really have like responsibilities that will make me feel better going into enjoying my self-care. And I'll pass it to Viviana.
Thank you, Michelle. Good morning, everybody. I don't know that you all will think about this as self-care, but we are going to be fencing our yard. And the only reason why I think it's self-care is because the past week, my dog has given me extreme anxiety because my back door neighbor, she put a fence and now he can't see his friend. So I think that he's just going around the other backdoor neighbor's house to try to like go see him. And that's, yeah, no. So we're going to be fencing that in. And I think that'll make me feel so much better, like actually leaving the house. Because, you know, when my mother-in-law's there, she just lets him go out in the backyard and he didn't have a problem before, but now he wants to find his friend Opie. So yeah.
A doggy door in the fence so they could see each other.
No, ma'am, because this lady back door, she doesn't want him to bark. She doesn't want him to be a dog, basically. So every time he sees my dog, he starts barking and she gets so annoyed. So she put like a big, like those white vinyl fences that you can see. And it just messed him up. So I'm gonna popcorn it to Charisse.
Good morning, everyone. So I really appreciate this question because I had no plans for self-care whatsoever, especially like, you know, getting back into town from Hartford. And the kids are like, mommy, mommy, mommy. So I think I will make time and take some suggestions. Like I heard Nishette say sleep in, so I'll make sure I'll sleep in, and then that walk sounds really nice, so I will take a walk as well. So thank you very much for this.
Great. I think we have Tyrone and AJ left, if I'm correct. Tyrone, do you want to go?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. I like this part of the meeting only because I can tell that the folks on the district leadership side have a relation. So it's good that everyone can share what's happening with their weekend. Now, I learned last week that self-care is more than indulgence. It's activities that help, recharge your batteries, or that gives you some peace of mind. And so, Viviana, your activity totally counts as self-care, because it's nothing like trying to figure out what's going on with your animal, what's happening to your house when you're away from home. So I think what's going to recharge batteries for me is an opportunity to catch up. I think tonight and tomorrow is Connecticut Democratic Convention, and so I'm going to be toiling there as a delegate. And so Sunday is a time to not have an obligation and potentially to be able to catch up with some things that you want to do. And I will say the indulgent thing possibly is getting through a Sunday paper and maybe some level of Bible reading because it's Sunday.
Mr. Walker, I hope to see you there. Are you going tonight or just Saturday?
Oh, you're on mute, Tyrone.
Sorry, I'll be there tonight and tomorrow. So I will.
Right.
I will look you up. I will look you up.
AJ, I know you're with the kids in the background. What's your self-care? I know your kids are sick, so anything you're gonna try to do this weekend for yourself?
Yeah, nah, ain't nothing gonna be for me this week. But yeah, so I have my son's playing Northern Little League, so he'll be getting his team tryouts tomorrow at Waverly Field. Then there's an Alpha Derby tomorrow as well. And hold on, I'm looking at my calendar. Let me see now. Yeah, Alpha Derby tomorrow, where I'll be vending, selling hats, and participating. My frat brother's graduating with his master's, so he has a graduation situation going on. Mother's Day, church all day Sunday. And I don't know what I'm doing tonight. I may try to go by the Democratic convention and see what that's like.
Hello.
That's great. What is it? What is it saying? Happy wife, happy life.
Mhm. Yeah.
So hopefully next weekend will be later this week will be some self-care for you and Alejandro. So I think everyone went, right? Did no one go? No? Okay, great. So again, I know this may seem corny to some people, but I think this is an opportunity for us to just reset and remind ourselves of the hard work we are all doing at different capacities, but also that we're human and we can run out of energy and just motivation, and that's okay. And accepting that and just being able to recharge and reset. And it's okay to take care of yourself. It's okay to take a mental health day. It's okay to do all of that. Life is precious. And, I'll share very quickly, there was a loved one of mine that passed away this past week. So it's just one of those things where, I just, sadly, it's like, why do you have to be reminded of how precious life is when somebody passes away? So I'm trying to be more reflective of that going forward, right? And just like, it's okay if you don't get something done. It's okay if you got to take a date. It's okay. Like, I use this metaphor a lot. We're not doing open heart surgeries, right? Our work is important, but there's literally no one at the table with their chest cut open. So just remember, your work is important. I appreciate you, every single one of you. I know the work we're doing is not easy. And I just hope that you remember to take care of yourself, because we need you. The district needs you. Our kids need you. Our staff needs you. And I need you. I'm going to be relying on you guys. But anyway, let's get started with the meeting. I appreciate you guys indulging me with these questions that I ask every meeting. And it's a really great opportunity in getting to know you guys a little bit more and your personalities. And hopefully I don't seem scary to any of you guys. Maybe a little bit crazy with my hair, but that's about it. So let's get started. I'm pulling up the agenda. The first thing is with Lonnie. We're going to talk about healthy food certification. Chief Blackberg, I don't know if you want to say anything or if you want to pass it off to Lonnie.
No, just happy to have Lonnie with us, and she's going to just go straight into healthy food certification. But we always say, do we have partners, like internal partners in the district? And food service is a partner and all kinds of different things. So thank you, Lonnie, for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. What we're here for is because on the board agenda is the healthy food certification, which is an annual certification. It's for the state of Connecticut. And basically it's, since I believe it started in 2005, where there are strict nutrition standards to follow for all of the a la carte foods that you would sell to students. Included in this is also, though, all activities, not just about food services. And so it includes fundraising activities, bake sales. And so we have participated in this, I believe, since 2006, 2007, somewhere around there. And what happens is that we certify that all of the items that the food service department would sell to students in the a la carte lines are going to meet these nutrition standards. The Connecticut nutrition standards are a little bit more stringent than the federal nutrition standards are. So for that, there's additional funding that comes per meal to our program. And to be honest with you, it was 10 cents. I believe that number is decreasing, but it adds up to about $300,000 that additional funding for our reimbursement funding for our program. We have and always have exempted foods that are sold and beverages that are sold at an event, so that the PTO or the booster clubs, if they want to be able to sell hot dogs and chips at a sports game, they can, and still be within the guidelines of the nutrition standards. All of our fundraising, though, has to meet these standards. And so if a school decides to sell candy bars at Thanksgiving time, they can. The caveat with that is that the student can go and sell it and bring the money back to school, but an adult needs to come and actually pick up the product. But I'm going to say to you that so I should introduce myself as a registered dietitian. I should probably start there. And so I really believe that life is a conscious effort. And I think health is a conscious effort. And so I really appreciate your words, because I believe what you're saying. But more importantly, as a registered dietitian, I love these standards because they really have curtailed a lot of the fundraising activities of junk food in this district and bake sales that are just selling cookies and junk food that at this point we really should not be support. We really want to teach children to have good nutrition habits. And the other side of bake sales for me is, of course, the food safety side of it, because we manage a lot of allergies in this district. We have over 2,000 students between carbohydrate counting or you name the allergy. So when you have a bake sale and something's been made at home, we don't know what all the ingredients are or how that product's been handled. So there are a lot of, I look at the world from my world in a wide peripheral range, but basically we are recertifying for our healthy food certification, and that we are exempting food and beverages from activities such as a game or a sports night or a play that the PTO or anybody could be selling something outside of that event. And otherwise, everything else needs to meet the nutrition standards. So that's pretty much it, Christine. I don't think it's pretty much it in a nutshell. I love these standards. I think they're fabulous. And I think they help teach children to look at nutrition. So that's any questions or thoughts?
Thank you, Lonnie. Tyrone, AJ, do you guys have any questions?
No. Is this there an action, or is this a flow down notification for us? That'd be my only question.
Go ahead. Sorry, Orlani. I was just going to say, as you can see,
there is an action. This needs to be voted on by the Board of Ed every year. Okay. Oh. And then when you're looking at the language that's in here, this is the specific language that the state provides for us if you want to participate. Like we literally copy and paste it from exactly the template that the state gives us. But it will probably, I'm assuming it's in your consent agenda, and you will have to vote on it to approve that we participate.
Right. Thank you for that.
That's a good question. I'm sorry, I should have said that clearer.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I mean, it's also bolded the vote. We got to vote. So Tyrone, AJ, do you guys have any questions about the healthy food certification?
Yeah. Quick question. Does this only deals with like reimbursable meals and such, but this doesn't deal with the quality of food, does it?
No, this is just about what this meets as the nutritional standards. So basically there are sodium restrictions, there are sugar restrictions, there are actual portion size restrictions in terms of the a la carte, like chips, juices that you sell to students outside of the reimbursable meal. This is two separate issues.
And so, okay, I'm just going at this from a practical, when I get a lot of complaints from parents and students about the quality of food. And so this is the a la carte items, and what you're trying to get to is that we're now going to kind of legislate or stipulate what those items are that we're serving kids. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm not trying to make school so ridiculously boring and then the food be just as bad, right? Like, and I know that we want to say that there's sodium and different things, but like, I'm not about to just take a bag of chips from some kids when that might be the thing that they enjoy the most. And that might not be the spirit of this. I just want to get some clarity on it.
So I can talk about the quality meals outside of this, but what this is saying to us is, first of all, there are USDA requirements for fat and sodium in any a la carte foods that we sell, the chips or anything. And basically we have to sell a baked chip, whether we participate in healthy food certification or not, because there are federal standards for the USDA meal program that we need to meet. And then if we meet the Connecticut standards, which are a little bit more stringent in sodium and sugar, we can get a little bit of additional funding. And so we honestly, because we are a universal feeding district, the reality is we don't sell a lot of a la carte. We really are trying to and want students to eat our meals. We do a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. We do a lot of local produce. So at the elementary schools, we only sell a la carte. At the secondary schools, we sell nothing at an elementary school. And because we really want our students to eat, and because we are in the community eligibility provision, a lot of districts that are outside of a universal feeding who have students who are paying need to subsidize their budgets. And so some of the reasons why they sell a la carte is for that. We really want our students to take the full reimbursable meal. We want them to have the vegetable. We want them to have the fruit. We want them to drink the milk. That's really what we are here for and what we try and do. But for the high schools, and I will be, again, very honest with you, during COVID, we haven't sold any a la carte. We have been just trying to keep up with and make sure we have a food supply. And this has not been a huge issue this year because we really haven't had an opportunity to even have the staffing or the product available to us to really sell a lot of a la carte items. But pre-COVID, for example, over at the high schools, we sold a lot of the Frito-Lay chips that fall into this category that meet the requirements. We sold juices, we sold some water bottles, but not huge amounts of items where, I think we had one cookie that we sold. Really, the majority of our focus is on trying to get our meal program and stay with the reimbursable meal, the hot meals. We really want our students to have a hot meal.
Thank you, Lonnie. AJ, did that clarify your thoughts, your concerns?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I have deeper concerns around food, but I do understand what this is. I can't say where I'm going to vote. I'm going to speak with you, Yahira, and Nishette just to get more clarity, but I'm not going to hold up the meeting with more questions.
Thank you, Pastor Arjun. And I think all of us, I worked at Food Share, so food and food quality and food, having food access is really important to me as well. And I think the topic of food quality is a whole other topic of conversation that we can come back and bring up in one of our meetings in the future. I think it's something that does need to be brought up and get some clarifications and all of that. Obviously, there are USDA regulations, state regulations around all of that. But that is a topic that I think is important and we can bring up at a future meeting. But as it pertains to the healthy food certification, I am okay with bringing this forward to the consent agenda. And AJ, we can talk offline with Nisha and Lonnie if there's any other questions. I just want to make sure you guys, whatever questions you guys have is answered. Tyrone, do you have any concerns or questions about any of this, of the healthy food certification?
No, I have questions about food service, but it's not about certification. I think the certification is totally fine. And I share your, I guess, your perspective that we should come back and look at food service more generally in another meeting.
Right. Thank you. I don't know. I can't see everyone on my screen. I don't know if Shantae made it. I just want to make sure. No, I don't see her. All right. So I think we're good to move this to the consent agenda, and whatever follow-up concerns, questions, AJ, we can follow up with you directly and figure out all of that. And as I said earlier, in a future meeting, whether it's next month or the following month, this will be a priority for us to discuss food service in general at a higher level and quality and all of that. We can bring that up at a future meeting. Sounds like
yes, ma'am. And so I think I misspoke. I don't have an issue with the certification, but I think you and Tyrone cleared it up. The certification is fine with me as it is standard. But we, next month or at some point in time, let's bring it back on the agenda. Thank you.
Great. All right. So we're good to bring this to the consent agenda for our regular board meeting. We're going to move on to our next agenda item, which is the summer school providers overview. Chief Blackburg.
Thank you, Lonnie.
Thank you, Lonnie. Have a good one. Chief Blackburg, I'm going to hand that off to you. I don't know who is going to be discussing the summer school providers overview.
No, I am. Thank you, Chairwoman Escobar. So what the PowerPoint that's here is the summer programs overview. And yes, I will also be talking about our summer providers. And I think some of you may have seen portions of this deck in the Teaching and Learning Committee, but for the benefit of those of you who may not have been a part of that committee meeting, wanted to take some time to go through it. Thank you, Christina. Okay, so this is just the overview of programs across the district for the summer. There is Early Start, a middle school program, ESY, our students with exceptionalities, Summer Bridge, and there's Credit Recovery. The dates of summer programming, July 5th through the 29th, and then the hours of operation, you'll see an asterisk next to Early Start, ESY, and then Summer Bridge does also have an extended portion. So this is the layout across the district of what will be offered over the summer to our students. Thank you, Christina. These are just the logistics. And again, I think if you were a part of the teaching and learning, you had an opportunity to probably dig a little bit deeper with the Teaching and Learning Committee as it relates to the actual logistics for our summer programs. I just want to call your attention to a couple of pieces that students were identified in March, and those families were notified by Parent Square. We are looking for final enrollment by the end of May. We just concluded parent-teacher workshops, conferences. I'm sorry, early in the morning, I'm still sipping my coffee, so stay with me. And during those conferences, we also wanted to use that as an opportunity to inform parents, recruit families, sign families up for summer school. The middle school program is really open to any rising 6th, 7th, or 8th grade student in the district. Summer Bridge, as you know, for our rising 9th graders, and then Credit Recovery for those students who are in need of recovering credit. And all registration will look to close by the end of May. Thank you, Christina. Okay. This is just another way of looking at how programming will be laid out. So you see K-5 and our ESY programs will start at 8:15. This is just a look at how their day will run: breakfast, social emotional learning. So it's breaking it up into what they will receive. And as you can see, for K-5 Early Start, they will have CBO programming from 12:15 to 4 p.m. CBO meaning community-based organizations and providers will be providing that enrichment to them. I do want to call your attention to the second bullet. I think it's really important to name that while all of our students may not be attending our Early Start program, we have had outreach from the University of Hartford, Summer Place, longstanding program, Kingswood Oxford, Sphere at Watkinson, as well as Camp Current, who are willing to work with the district so our students can attend those programs. So myself and Ms. Sinkowitz, we've been able to connect myself with UHart and Sphere, Ms. Sinkowitz with Kingswood Oxford, and both of us have had conversations with Camp Current. So again, if our students aren't attending our programs, our Early Start program, they do have an opportunity at these venues here in the city. Transportation will be provided and coordinated for our students. This is just Summer Bridge, background on Summer Bridge. Why we're doing Summer Bridge, because we do want to prepare students, getting them ready for that transition to high school. We started this a few years back and really working hard this year with the Office of Academics and our office, along with our community-based providers, to ensure that our students who are rising 9th graders really have a robust program. And so we've taken time to actually do a lot of planning with the community-based organizations. I know that's something this committee has talked about, like, are we just directing it, or are we including our community in the conversation and in the decision-making? So we started meeting with not just the Summer Bridge providers, but all of our community-based providers back in March, and they've had great input for us on how we go about registration and also how we design the Summer Bridge program. And I think this is our last slide, Christina, but I did want to pause right here to, okay. Is this? This is the last slide, Christina. I'm not keeping track of it. Yes, this is the
Sorry, I
last
couldn't unmute.
slide. No problem. So in the summer bridge program, they'll have math, ELA. There'll be a seminar piece, which I think is really exciting with guest speakers, resume writing, and of course, they can have electives of what they would like to offer. And then our CBO partners will provide additional enrichments, including field trips. And then our rising ninth graders will also have an opportunity, if they aren't going to one of the neighborhood middle schools, they will have an opportunity to go to their actual buildings, so the other magnet schools. And I think that's important. So they have a feel, they get acclimated before that first day of school. So really excited about what Summer Bridge looks like. For our summer providers, we had a small application process for summer funding. And at our next meeting, I will be coming to you with a list of potential contracts. They were able to request the amount of money that they thought would match their need for their program. So not all of the contracts will come to the board because some of them are under that $50,000 mark. So we've had some providers who said that, they would only need, X number of dollars. But if it didn't meet that threshold, like last year, we will share that with the board. But then, of course, the board would need to approve the other contracts that are over that threshold. But we will provide a complete list with all dollar amounts for the board to see. We've had providers, in town, folks like to say the big four. We've had some smaller organizations that we were really excited to see that wanted to partner with the district again for summer programming. We just got done with that review, and we are in the process of finalizing. And of course, before we enter into any contracts, we'll get that in front of the board. So just wanted to bring that to you, that we are at the end of that process, and those providers will come before the board for next month. So be ready and on schedule for the start of summer school. So that was it for the overview of summer programs, our summer providers. Just to name a few, Catholic Charities, Active Theater, really excited about Hartford City Mission. That's a smaller organization. The Phoenix was a new one that came forward. So we're just excited that we've seen a nice spread of larger orgs, smaller orgs that are really interested in working with our students. Urban League. And so we will provide a comprehensive list at our next meeting of all providers who will be working in our schools. And of course, the ones that have a larger amount that's being requested will go to the board for approval at the June meeting. And that's it.
Thank you, Chief Blackburn, for that presentation about our summer programs. I'm going to open it up before I share any of my questions. I'm going to open it up to my fellow colleagues, and I just want to recognize our Phil, Chairman Rigger, just joined us. So welcome. It's good to have you in the FCE meeting. I am going to open it up. I see Tyrone's hand is up. Tyrone.
Thank you, Chairperson Escribano. So, Chief Blackburn, I want to understand, so you showed a range of programs. I guess I'm understanding that the programs are primarily going to be run by certified teachers. And so the partners, what kind of role are they playing in terms of, when you looked at I looked at the schedule of activities. I only saw CBO for one of those programs. So help me understand the structure. I mean, I get it, but you get what I'm saying? Are teachers basically doing most of the work and partners playing a particular part?
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Christina, can you go back to, I want to say it's slide 4. Oh, yeah. There you go. Thank you. So looking at this here, our certified teachers for early start, summer bridge, credit recovery. In the blue, Hartford Public Schools certified teachers are leading those classes.
Okay.
Okay. Now for summer bridge, in one of these, excuse me, one of these blocks, because it's going to be like a rotating schedule. So they're going to create their groups. CBO partners will be able to push in and assist certified teachers depending on what's being offered, if it's that seminar block or if they're doing like a work-based project.
Okay.
For early start in the purple, the CBO programming, that is going to be led by our community-based organizations. And so our certified teachers would not be a part of that. They might still be on premises doing their planning, but CBO providers will lead that portion from 12:15 to 4 p.m. And of course, they will have support from our support teams that will still be in the building with them, but that's how the day is broken out. What's not on this particular slide is the middle school outfit, and that is completely, excuse me, that is completely CBO led. So our middle school students who will be over at the Burr and B STEM campus, that complete program is going to be led by our community-based providers. And so
Okay.
Okay.
So, all right. So I guess an action, I think for me is, so I get it. So from summarizing what you're saying, right? Teachers will bring in CBO partners based on the module they're teaching. And I from what you were saying for Summer Bridge and credit recovery, that's how that's going to work, correct?
No, so just for Summer Bridge. So Summer Bridge, it is a partnership with community-based providers. Each cohort or grouping of students, because there will be several students, several rising ninth graders. And so I don't have like the list or how they're being created. But as you look at class 1, class 2, class 3. So when one group of students might be doing their class 1, another group of students might be actually on class 3, because we are in different locations in different places.
Okay.
CBO providers, depending on what that block is dedicated to, would be merged into that.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief Blackberg. Tyrone, do you have any other questions, or are you?
Yeah, one follow on. So the superintendent talked about beginning this 9th grade academy. I don't know if that's just a suggestion or being piloted. Do you remember that conversation, Chief Blackberg?
A 9th grade academy?
Do you mean the parent academy, the parent?
No, that was one of the models she talked about was doing for the 9th grade, having 9th grade be kind of a specialized program where when 9th graders go to high school, they will have they will be separated on their own. They will only have classes with only 9th graders, and program will be kind of focused then to just 9th graders. And so the 9th grade year would be kind of this special transition year for just 9th graders. I thought that was part of our early discussion we had. The question I was going to ask is, how's this bridge program going to be different from that? If we're going to move to the model where 9th grade is just going to be this very unique 9th grade experience at the high school level.
Chief Blackberg, I don't know if you have any, I don't remember any of that, but then again, I could have missed something. Chief Blackberg, can you clarify that?
Thank you, Chairwoman. I do not have any insight into that. I will take that back to the superintendent. I do know that Summer Bridge was created in hopes that we would be preparing our rising 9th graders, just to be acclimated to the high school experience. But I can take that back because no, I don't have any eyes into that particular piece as like a 9th grade academy separate and aside.
Thank you.
I'll stop there. Thank you. That probably came up in teaching and learning committee. Yeah.
Thank you, Board Walker and Chief Blackberg. Thank you for that. I wasn't part of that meeting, so it also sounds new to me. So just thank you for clarifying that. But I think it's just a Summer Bridge program. I could be wrong about that. Pastor Johnson, I see your hand is up. Do you have any questions?
Yeah. So I want to thank Chief Blackberg for this comprehensive overview of what the summer is going to look like. I think that is, I think it's something that we need. So I appreciate the effort and her staff and her team have put in place. For me last year, we had a couple hiccups due to the pandemic, and certain things just had to happen very quickly. And so I appreciate the effort to put everything before us in a timely manner. So we're not saying that we're not going to scramble for anything moving forward, because that's just life. But I appreciate the pre-planning of the structure that's put in place along with our community-based organizations. My first question is the Phoenix. Is that the Phoenix Society? Is that the Phoenix Mental Health Services? Can you just provide some clarity around the Phoenix?
Chief Blackburn.
Yes, I wanted to make sure I was unmuted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. And I apologize for my sound machine, guys. It soothes me through the day, so I apologize. I turned it off. Okay, I'm pulling up my list, Pastor.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was Darth Vader.
Yeah, I know what that was. Like somebody sleep in your office?
No, you have different sounds. There's like running water, birds chirping. Sorry. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rizzo. Appreciate you. When you have too many tabs open.
Don't worry about it.
Baby.
True.
Oh my goodness.
As you're pulling that up, I'm gonna have Phil. One of the things that we started this morning is, what are you gonna be doing this weekend for self-care for yourself, given all of our crazy schedules? Yeah, you. What are you gonna do for self-care this weekend?
I have a problem set. I have a problem set due.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have a problem set due, and but other than that, I will probably take the family to the Pond House and just have a nice brunch for mom and call it a day. And yeah, that's it. But yeah, definitely a problem set.
Oh God, that sounds horrible. You're almost done though. You'll be there soon.
Yeah, another year.
Oh man. Chief Blackburn, sorry about that.
Yes, that's okay. That's great. That's great. That's important. So Phoenix Professional Services LLC. I don't have their full scope that they provided to us. It's here in one of these folders, but
is it Tamar Druffin?
Is it who?
Tamar Druffin?
That name doesn't ring a bell. Mr. Martinez, do you have your notebook with you? Because I know you took like copious notes of all of the applications.
And as he's pulling that up, Chief Blackburn, I know you said, I just want to reiterate, you're going to provide a list of all of those providers.
Correct.
To
so
us, right?
I will provide a list of all of the providers who applied through the application process, the RFP process, and of course we did that through procurement. We have to with the city of Hartford. And even the providers who did not request at the maximum amount, I will also share that. I think that's important for the board to have. So if you have all of the applicants, all of the applicants, the dollar amount, and then the amount that would be going to the board for approval.
That'll be very
helpful. Okay, cool. I don't want to hold up the meeting on that. I thought I knew the provider and could speak and validate their work if it was who I thought it was. All right. So my second question is more of a parent question, coming from a parent side, as I have my 5-year-old is going into the Montessori, right? So I saw Kay as kind of a part of the bridge program. Can you just give more details on what that looks like for parents with 5-year-olds going into schools, being somewhat bridged in?
Okay. I think what you're asking, Pastor AJ, students who are currently pre-K4 going into kindergarten, is there a place for them?
Yeah, that's what I saw on your chart, that there is.
Okay, so that I'm actually going to take back. That is a conversation. I know Ms. Fagan has received that question in the Welcome Center. We've received that question in regards to pre-K4 students for summer learning. It does say K5, And so I think the question that has to be clarified, is it K meaning our current kindergarten going into first grade, or to your point, the rising kindergartner? So that one I do not have the answer for right now, but I can get that to you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Taking note of that. Thank you, Chief Blackbird, for looking into that. And great question, AJ.
Yes.
Can I say
Great.
something?
Yeah.
We do have a program for special needs students, pre-K special needs students who are going in kindergarten, but they're identified for that program.
That's clear. Thank you.
Great. Are there any other questions about the summer programs overview? No?
So, Madam Chair, just a quick thing.
Yeah.
I know Chief Blacker mentioned my infamous notebook, but Chief Blacker, I do not have the information on the Phoenix here. I didn't write. I didn't make the note of it.
That's okay. When you send us the list of all the providers, we'll see that information.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Thank you. And it's funny, I'm old fashioned too. I write everything down myself. All right, great. So just a point of clarification, Christina, does the board need to take a vote on this or any of that, or is this more of an informational overview?
For now, it's informational, correct? And next month, expect to see the contracts.
Right, with the cost and the list of providers and application. Great. I just want to make sure. Awesome. Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So if there's no more questions or concerns, I'm going to move on to our reports, updates, and planning. And as I said in the previous meetings, these are reports that have been sent to us. We have them. We can read. So I don't expect you guys, I don't want or expect you guys to go through every line item, just high level overview, things that are of urgency and great importance that we need to be aware of. So I'm going to pass it on in a second. School Governance Council update.
Thank you, Chairwoman Escribano. So okay, Christina will pull it up, but I want to lift, you will see that we have a lot of parents. I just want to say that I had two major goals for this school year, right? My first goal was to not have any SGCs on the red. That meant that, of course, there were no, it was not seated, right? So we don't have anybody on the red. I am very happy about that. We are super proud of this. And goal number two was that we had some SGCs last year, and this was a topic of conversation through the year, where the amount of parents was not, I don't want to say that was not enough, but it was smaller compared to the amount of teachers and community leaders, right? So I want to make sure that we know that this year, the majority of the SGCs, even those who are not fully seated, right, that don't have the 14 members, do have at least an equal amount, right, of parents to teachers and community leaders, right? So I wanted to lift those two things. I know we look a lot of quantitative data, but if I can have this little 30 seconds just to share that, well, this is kind of quantitative as well, but just to share that our SGC trainings this year have been amazing. The engagement, the feedback, the suggestions, the conversations are very deep, are very real. We're looking at family members, community partners, teachers coming in and talking about how they engage with their families, what can be done, what should we change. And I think that quality data is very important, right? And it will inform our work for the next school year. So I definitely wanted to lift that up. I do think that compared to last year, we are hearing more from them. I do get emails right after the training. Hey, can you share this? Can you share that? Or I'm so sorry I missed the training, what have you. I have parents just telling me I'm sorry I was sick, kind of calling out sick from the meeting. So I wanted to share that. We're very proud of that work that they've done this year, right? And we'll see what happens next year. A lot of them are very excited just to like start working on next year's plans.
Thank you, Viviana. This is great, and I'm personally happy to see that we don't have any reds. Obviously we have some yellows, but I'm looking at the breakdown and it's not awful, right? Obviously we can always get more, but
Right.
this is a great foundation right now. And I know you've done a lot of work around this, engaging our parents and SGC. So congratulations to you on your hard work, and you and your team and doing this. This is really, really important work. I'm going to open it up. Do any of my colleagues have quick questions or concerns? I want to be mindful of the time. We have 2 more reports to go through, but if you guys have any quick questions, comments, or any of that, I'm going to open up the floor.
I wasn't able to get to my raised hand, but do you mind if I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
All right. So I appreciate that report. I, like, as most board members, I'm stopped at meetings, I'm stopped at grocery stores, I'm stopped at church, I'm stopped in the bathroom, I'm stopped coming out the bathroom, I'm stopped everywhere with either, great reports or, maybe some stuff that needs to be validated and qualified, because some stuff sounds crazy. But one thing that has constantly come across is the SGCs and how I, as a board member, need to go to these SGCs and see how they're functioning and such and such. So I'm happy that we're getting in a better place, because I do understand where we came from. So I'm not critiquing, because I absolutely understand how hard it is to put together an SGC and get commitments and get folks to truly take time and come out of their daily schedules and be a part. But I've heard a little bit about the quality of the SGCs, and I'm not looking for a response. I guess this is just more of a statement that as we get better, one, can we just prepare for the quality of the SGCs moving forward, and two, if there is a way that we can highlight where we are with our SGCs publicly. Because sometimes information is old and people get stuck with old information. The SGCs don't work, or they just made up of, 2-3 family, like just those same old things. And we've actually moved forward, but the community and the information that they're receiving hasn't necessarily moved forward. So if there's a way, you're always going to hear me say, if no one knows what we're doing, they're going to assume that it's the last thing that we did, and it might not have been our best presentation. So it really looks like we're in a very good place. Is there a way that we can share our progress and highlights of our SGCs, because they are so important to the makeup of schools and how a school functions? Is there a way that we can just lift up, celebrate, recognize, put on a billboard that we are where we are at this particular point? Maybe not saying that we're not where we want to be, but comparably to our progress, that we are in a way better place than we were, and let that be the narrative. Because sometimes the narrative, again, in the community is, the SGCs, the principals just be pulling in anybody, and it just, and I know that's not the case, because this report is telling me that's not the case. But somewhere in how it translates is just not translating in a way that shows that we're actually doing the work to do this, and that people are actually committed to making this process work. So I just want to uplift that on how we just think about the quality of the SGCs and the people that we're pulling in, and two, how do we magnify the good work that we're doing?
Thank you, Board Member Johnson. I think that brings up a great point, and I was going to ask Christina and Nishette, correct me if I'm wrong, do we include this in our weekly updates when we send out the emails to the district and everyone, in terms of how well we're doing with SGC? I'm just clarifying question. I don't know if this is the information we provide there.
Right. And maybe even pictures. I'm sorry. Right. It just came to my head. Maybe even like in there, just here are the SGCs, and point out the people because there are people on there that you may know, and maybe in relationship, or maybe auntie or uncle or a neighbor.
Thank you, Board Member Johnson. And I know Phil's here and we can talk offline about it, but I do believe that we should recognize and uplift, and maybe that's something we can do during our regular board meeting as well. Chair, I was gonna call you Chair. Sorry, Chief Blackburn, I see your hand is up.
Thank you, Chairwoman. So Pastor AJ, you lift a great point, and here is where I love the partnership that we are building here in this committee with our board members. Help us carry that water through the community. We do have SGC trainings and workshops for the last, I would say 2 years. Even while we were in a pandemic, we continued with those SGC workshops, and Ms. Alvarado has done a great job. I think of a few workshops where parents are there and they are excited to talk about a budget. They're excited to talk about the roles and the responsibilities of an SGC member. And so I was just asking if you can help us carry that water and uplift what the SGCs are doing, because I know that narrative does exist. When this office was established in school year 18-19, SGCs were in a little bit of a different place, and we had to work hard to kind of get it to where we are now. We have an SGC showcase coming up in June. I think the date is the 7th, Ms. Alvarado.
Yep, that's correct.
June 7th. So hoping that, of course, all board members are invited, but really hoping that all the board members will be there, as well as, as you're talking to the folks in the grocery store that you run into, it's open, so please come and see what's happening with the SGCs. And I love the idea, Chairwoman Escorbano, of highlighting SGCs, during a few board meetings throughout the year and the work that's being done. Right now, we don't put it in the newsletter because I guess, Vivian, we would need to ask principals to take pictures of their SGCs, or, while they're doing their SGC meetings, or when the SGC members are there for events. So that's another piece that we can take up as we're trying to carry the water through the community. So thank you, Pastor AJ, for adding that and lifting that up.
Thank you, Flagler. I think, if you guys can coordinate, I think, we get so inundated with negative news and just stereotypes of Hartford. This is an opportunity for us to change that narrative, not just in terms of SGC, but our commitment and how well our community is working together to support our staff and our students. So AJ, thank you for bringing that up. And I really do think we should start including them in our newsletter, highlighting them during our board meetings, getting pictures and all of that. And we can talk as a board how we can do that during our regular board meetings. But I think we should recognize them and praise them for their hard work, right? I see Phil's hand is up. I'll pass it on to you.
Thank you for that. The only thing I would echo, and I'm talking a little bit out of school here, but Christina, that just more pressure on you and the fellows. So we have talked about other ways of communicating some of the great work that's coming from this team and other committees, and really reinforcing, as I always like to say, over communicating the great work that we're doing. So I know as a board, we're looking into a few avenues to demonstrate that. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, Christina, that we'll have something to share with families, and would definitely love to highlight some of the conversations that are happening here.
Thank you. So I'm going to put it on you guys, Chief Blackburn and Viviana, your team. If you guys can start just taking pictures and even getting quotes or stories from our parents. Oh yeah. Sorry, I was just looking at the chat. That would be great. It is 9:31. So I want to be mindful of time. I know we have 2 more reports. I'm going to open it up and just let me know if it's something that we should take out 5 more minutes for, or if it's something you think we can read and follow up with should any of us have questions. You guys let me know. What are your thoughts, Chief Blackburn?
Excuse me. Ms. Fagan, in regards to the Welcome Center report, I don't know if there was any a piece of that you wanted to just unpack quickly. I know the Title I report, Ms. Mitchell Davis, I know you have, did you want to report that? I think 2 meetings ago, we said we were going to come back to it. So wanted to actually take some time to look at the Title I report. But Ms. Fagan, the Welcome Center report, or we wait for questions?
Oh, you're on mute.
Unmute.
Hi, good morning. Just a moment, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so so my report is pretty self-explanatory. I don't know if you had a chance to review it and have any questions. This month we saw a lower number. I believe it's because of school vacation in April. I just wanted to say though, as more parents start to come in person, we see more requests, even though we're here to hear concerns and complaints, but we're seeing parents being so appreciative of the information they receive and being able to rely on us to get information, and we see that how much they trust us, and also just parents coming in and knowing us by name and know that whenever they speak with anyone here, they're getting correct information and they don't feel shy about asking stupid questions, as I should put it. So that's good to hear. I also hear that from my colleagues and from school administrators. More often than not, they will refer parents to us. And so I'm appreciative of that role that we play in our system. Apart from that, we have started doing some outreach in the community in terms of setting up informational tables wherever we're invited and wherever parents are, just to be visible. There are new parents coming in all the time, including refugee parents. We assist IRIS, like they rely on us to help them navigate, new parents in the school system, assisting them with transportation needs and, things that they may not be aware of. So I just wanted to put that out there. Are there any specific questions about the report?
I will open it up to my board. Really, my biggest thing is, and I don't need an answer now. We don't need an answer now, but, what can the board do to support this work and the efforts, right? I mean, I know that's a loaded question. I don't need an answer now, but I want you and your team, Chief Blackburn, like, what can we do to support these efforts, right? Make it more equitable and efficient for your team, but also for our parents and our students. I'm going to put that out there. Mr. Walker, I see your hand is up. You have a question?
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Chairperson Escribano. One, I wanted to say, hey, I appreciate giving some airtime to the reports, because I realize there's a pattern where the person, the tail end of the meeting, gets somehow knocked off the agenda. So let's be mindful, because everyone's showing up to talk about their good work. So let's also provide some airtime so everyone gets, a chance to really present in this forum. So I'm glad we took that opportunity. I did want to note appreciation for tracking the McKinley or the McKinney-Vento recipients or participants. I think that was the program that was the program for the folks with housing or insecurity in terms of where they're living. Am I correct in saying that?
You mean the students that have been identified?
Well, the McKinney-Vento program, I thought was one that was a program.
You mean the most recent grant that for
right.
transient students?
Oh,
isn't that for people in a transient situation? So I'm glad that you're tracking that, because it shows at least the impact of that program and the importance of that program. And I would ask or offer at least the suggestion, based on the fact that you're getting more parent engagement, that this is an opportunity to potentially use some technology to grab parent feedback or quick and instant survey, because this is that moment where you may get the hearty thank you and HBS made a difference in my life type of thing, because we're looking for parent feedback and parent engagement. And it seems as if this is a good news story that possibly if we push out one of those like constant contact type of like, hey, do you like what just happened here? Tell us about it, give us a 5 or something. And it would be really helpful to see that type of actual feedback from parents that would buttress what you're saying is the good work the Welcome Center is doing.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Ms. Fagan, were you going to say something?
Yes, we have done surveys from time to time, but we have sort of incorporated that into our school climate survey to see, get the feedback from that source.
And that's why I'm going to recommend a change there. Yours is a very, because the Welcome Center does a unique thing, right? That, well, maybe not unique, but I think it's unique is that you have a high percentage of transactional engagement with folks. And when something's transactional, they feel it right there at that moment. And so it's appropriate to really try to get their feedback at that moment, that day, and not 3 months later, where really the good work has been in the rearview mirror and maybe gets forgotten. So this is the one instance where I think that type of instant feedback would actually be legitimate and beneficial.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Again, I want to be mindful of times. I do like to hear the reports and hear the work, but I know in the last 2 meetings we've had hot topic conversations that have ran over, which is why we haven't had a chance to go over these reports. So I appreciate you guys taking the time, and thank you, Board Member Walker, for that suggestion. I'm gonna pass it on to our Title I funds update. Yeah, that would be great. I'm sorry, I was looking at the chat, Chief Blackburn, to create a quick survey as people come in, that information. Again, great suggestion, Board Member Walker. So I'm going to pass it on to Sharice, right? Sharice for Title I. No, Tamara, sorry, Tamara. My bad.
Yeah, so I was not at the last meeting, so if there's any questions, I'm here for questions. As a recap of what I sent to Christina, where we are, wait, actually, let me pull it up on my end too. Just highlighting the figures.
You want me to screen share? I know we have the, we have a PDF, but we normally like to fix it that it's more easily digestible, but
yeah,
finance
and I have it here.
Okay.
So for where we started, the revised budget was a little over 123,000. To be exact, $123,764.92. And I know there were some concerns over the last few months on how the monies were being spent across the schools. And so remaining balance as of yesterday was $9,603.57, with expended a little over 65,000, and encumbered to be spent was a little over 48,000. So across the district, workshops had to do with internet safety, mental health workshops for families. There were, I'm trying to just highlight a few of them off the top of my head. Building relationships with families, making the connection from home to school, and we had our office held office hours in support of our FCSSPs to support them in surveying families and expending the monies so that they can meet the needs and provide resources, which is the goal of the Title I funding. And I think that was, I hope I'm not on mute. Okay, no, I'm not. It's like I heard that space like, wait, am I just talking to myself? So are there any questions?
I'm going to open it up. Let me just quickly say, wow, congrats. Like that's huge. Since the last, what was it, 2 months ago, since the last update we got, that's incredible. That's huge. The progress you and your team have made with the Title I funds. So congrats on your hard work. And I'm going to open it up very quickly. Board Member Johnson, Board Member Walker, do you have any quick questions, comments, or any of that?
And I just wanted to say, excuse me one second, Mr. Walker, congratulations to our FCSSPs who are on the front lines and working with our families in the school buildings each and every day. So I wanted to highlight them as well.
Yeah, I would say congratulations as well. That was kind of my comment. I wanted a super quick refresher because Title I was thinking special ed, but no. What's Title I focused on? So what's the target population for Title I funds?
For parents, for families in the school building capacity, providing resources and making the connection from home to school.
Okay.
To increase student success.
Then yeah, well, congratulations and thanks for the refresher for me. But yeah, the level of activity sounded really terrific.
Great. Thank you, Board Member Walker, and Mr. Johnson also shared his congratulations to you and your team and everyone involved in that. Is there any last minute questions, concerns? You know, I've got some follow up here that Chief Blackburn will, list the providers. You're gonna get back to us about the pre-K question that Pastor Johnson had. We will, at a future meeting, we will discuss food quality and service at a higher level. And those are the three biggest things that I got in terms of next steps from our end. Chief Blackburn, did I miss something?
No, you didn't miss anything at all. Chairwoman Escribano, just wanted to share with everyone here a couple of things. I know at our last meeting, it was, I would say, a very involved discussion, but I think that's needed, right? So I appreciate that because I think what we're building here is good muscle to trust each other and just have real conversations. So I appreciate that. And so just wanted to kind of respond to a couple of the questions that were out from the last meeting. One of them being, here we go. One of them being about the leveraging, state funds for Wi-Fi and hotspots. So the federal funds that we did receive for that McKinney-Vento, that was like a portion. That's like a portion of ESSER dollars that were federal monies that came into the State Department of Education that they were granting to school districts. So we are using like what the state is giving us through, as federal dollars. We do receive that McKinney-Vento entitlement from the state, which is also a part of a federal book, right? But just wanted to say that that's why we're trying to do that, because we're trying to leverage those funds. Additionally, how can we sustain the role working with our CFO and our finance team to look at adding that position to the 22-23 budget? For years, the Welcome Center has always been a smaller team, and we've had a person dedicated, really like a 0.5 of a person dedicated to McKinney-Vento. So how do we expand that? Because we see the need. I think the pandemic has exacerbated all things in our city, and we're just seeing more and more folks being displaced. We just heard that interest rates were, rising again. So looking down the road, we don't know how folks will become displaced, but we know that folks will continue to be displaced. And then the last question that I think Mr. Walker asked was around how are families assessing the city's Wi-Fi. I did reach out to the Department of Families and Children, another one of our partners, and they did share that, yes, that was shared, that there should be access points around the city, but due to supply and demand issues, those access points aren't available as yet. So I wanted to just take time to report back to the committee that that is where we are. If and when those Wi-Fi and access points are strong and up in the city, we're really hoping that our families will be able to, be at the Dunkin' Donuts, be somewhere and be able to pull on that. But for right now, my understanding is that project is still in limbo. And thank you to the board members. I know that was another question about the Family and Caregiver Academy. when was the board going to be interviewed. So thank you to the board members who've already had their interviews, and encourage all the board members to just respond to, I believe it's you, Ms. Santiago, or to TNTP to schedule that interview. And lastly, we do have the showcase. I talked about that coming up. And we do say thank you to all of our partners. So we'll talk with Christina about how we can share information about thanking our partners and if board members wanted to be a part of that. And as usual, if there's something we need to know about, please share it with Christina, Ms. Escribano, let our team know, because again, we want to be partners in this work and assist each other. If something's happening at a school, don't wait till the board meeting, or just let us know. You can call, tell Ms. Santiago, and we will get right on that. Call the Welcome Center and go from there. And that was it.
Thank you, Chief Blackbird, for that update and following up with all of that. I know a lot of things are still a work in progress. I just remember something that I wanted to ask you for the summer bridge program, for all the summer programs. I think it'll be a great opportunity. I don't want to speak for the rest of the board members, but I think it'll be a great for us when we're available during the summer to stop in and just check out how those programs are running, talk with the kids, obviously not interrupting them, but I think it'll be a great opportunity for the board to be more involved, for people to see us and for them to communicate with us. So I want to put that out there as a suggestion as we get closer to that, that our board members can come out and see the programs in action. Let me just close this off by saying thank you, Chief Blackbird, Michelle, Ms. Fagan, everyone here, Viviana, Tamara, Alejandro, Cherie, everyone that's here, and those who are not here but are part of your team. I know this work is not easy. I hope you guys know how much you are appreciated. This is a team effort. And I never at any point do I want any of you guys to feel like this is an adversarial sorry, relationship. Not at all. In fact, it does take a team. It takes a village. And we're here. I'm here. Mr. Walker's here. Pastor Johnson's here. We're here to work with you guys, hold each other accountable, but also work together. So I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for your work. It's not easy, and thank you so much. Is there any last minute comments? And I really hope happy Mother's Day to those who are mothers. Please remember to take care of yourself, and self-care is important. Any last minute comments or questions before we close out?
Yeah, I wanted to emphasize again, thanks Chief Blackbird for the feedback and follow-up. I did want to say, because we scrutinized so much that head count, that I'd be okay if you move my half a head to a whole head, because sometimes I know a half a head is almost like not having an actual resource. So if you got to go to a full FTE to get the support, then I believe we will support you on that initiative.
Thank you. Chief Blackbird, do you have any comments or anything before we close out?
No, just really, I do appreciate the conversation each time we meet. So thank you for that. And again, I think that's what we do. We were walking away with some great suggestions for us as a team. I just slacked our fellow Sharice, and I'm like, how do we turn these great data points that were just discussed into, how do we turn these great pieces that we just shared into data points for the board report, and would hope that they can be actually voiced at the board meeting so people can hear about the Title I, people can hear about what's going on and how we're assisting our displaced families. So those are my closing statements, and thank you, and we'll continue to push each other. So that's it.
Great, thank you. I just saw your chat, Ms. Fagan. So, all right, I think we're good to go. Happy Friday, have a great weekend, happy Mother's Day. Please take care of yourself, and we'll see each other soon. And Viviana just got a gift. All right, great. Thank you guys. Take care of yourself. Feel free to email Christina and myself if there's any questions or concerns, okay?
Have a
Bye,
great
everyone.
weekend.